Arabic is based on a root system, which organizes concepts into categories, where each of them holds a collection of related words that are constructed following particular patterns. The stem that consists of 3 consonants gives rise to 10 derived forms, and each of them suggests specific shades of meaning. Once you start recognizing them, it will be easier for you to remember the meanings of new words. The pattern فاعل, which represents form 3 verb, that is characterized by the prolongation of the vowel that follows the first radical of the root, implies the meaning of reciprocity when transitive, in the manner that the subject and the object are engaged in the same action. So, the object does to the subject what the subject does to the object. Now that we have summarized what we have learned previously, let's exemplify this derived form. صافح conforms to فاعل, form 3 verb from the root صاد فاء حاء, meaning to shake hands with someone, a mutual activity in which the subject depends on the object to accomplish the action, and vice versa. And obviously, shaking hands involves 2 people. Transitive verbs in this form reflects the sharing of actions. So, how do we conjugate this form of verb in the past tense, in the active voice? Let's check it out to the board. أنا صافحت صديقا قديما. أنا, the subject pronoun أنا, that stands for the first person singular, the speaker, but it's redundant. You don't have to use it when you form a sentence, since the conjugation of the verb will communicate it to you. And with this conjugation in this tense, the suffixes are the only elements that are required as an addition to the verb. Alright? So, صافحت, I shook hands with an old friend. An old friend. صديقا is the object of صافح in the accusative with the sign of double fatha. Why double fatha? Because it is indefinite. We don't have the definite article ال, the. We don't have this. And قديما is its modifying adjective that has to match in number, gender, grammatical case, and definiteness. So they are both indefinite, they are both in the accusative with fatha tanween, and the fatha tanween requires an alif to hold it as a stand. Alright? And they are both singular. صديقا, an old friend. So أنا صافحت. أنا equals to, the suffix to. When you say صافحت, you have to know that you're talking about, you are referring to the speaker first person singular. What about أنت? Second person singular masculine. أنت. Let's remove this subject pronoun with its suffix. أنت. أنت, you, أنت. With أنت, we have the suffix ta as the one that we can see here, the suffix of the subject pronoun أنت. So أنت صافحت. And for the last radical of the verb صافح that we keep as is, صافح intact. We don't have infixes, we don't have prefixes, nothing. We just have to silence the last radical with the use of sukun, the zero sign, no vowels. صافحت, and then you add the suffix. صافحت. You shook hands with an old friend. صافحت صديقا قديما. What about second person singular feminine? Instead of أنت, we have أنتِ. Same thing. أنتِ. أنتِ صافحتِ. This element goes to the verb أنتِ صافحتِ. What about هو? Third person singular masculine. We know that the infinitive form, the infinitive Arabic forms, is the same as the third person singular masculine conjugation, past conjugation. صافح. So we have the form 3 verb صافح. هو صافح. هو صافح. He shook hands with an old friend. هو صافح. What about هي? Third person singular feminine. هي. هي, what do we do? When we refer to femininity, we use the letter تاء. هي, and still we keep the original form of صافح as in هو. So third person singular, we always keep the form as is in the past. هي صافحت. حت, you add just the ta of femininity with a sukun. هي صافحت. She shook hands with an old friend. هو صافح. هي صافحت. What about نحن? First person, plural, masculine and feminine. We, نحن. So نحن has two noons. That's its reputation. نحن صافحنا. We will use the noon of this element of this subject pronoun. صافحنا, and we extend it. صافحنا. نحن صافحنا. First person, plural, masculine and feminine. نحن, so we shook hands with an old friend. What about the dual form? The dual form, second person, masculine and feminine. أنتما. أنتما. So this conjugation works for both genders. أنتما. So here also we will be using the suffix of this subject pronoun. تما. أنتما صافحتما. And we silence the ha. صافحتما. I think I didn't change the fatha of نحن, but it's نحن صافحنا. We also had to silence the ha. Sorry if I forgot. أنتما صافحتما. أنتما صافحتما. We have the same suffix as within this subject pronoun. أنتما صافحتما, and it works for both genders as I said. You, dual, second person, dual, masculine and feminine. What about third person, dual? Here we have to differentiate between the masculine and feminine when it's about the third person dual. So huma, not when it comes to the subject pronoun. We have the same for both. Huma, huma, and again here with the third person we keep the fatha of safaha. Alright, third person, like in huwa and hiya. So for huma also we keep this fatha, original form of the from three verbs safaha. So huma safaha for the masculine, safaha. Alright, third person, dual, masculine. What about the feminine? We adjust the ta of femininity to the alif, because that's dual alif, we need it. So safaha ta, because here the fatha goes well with the following alif. There is no other choice. So fatha has to be followed by an alif. Huma safahata. What about the second person plural, masculine? Plural masculine. Antum, antum. Antum, antum, safah. Again here we have to silence the third radical of the roots. Safah. So the root is sad, fa, ha. Alright, that's the root. So antum, we are gonna cheat again and use the suffix of the subject pronoun antum. Antum safahtum. Safahtum. Sadiqan qadiman. You shook hands with an old friend. Alright? What about second person, feminine, plural feminine? Antunna. 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 Safahtunna. Safahtunna. See how easy it is? Antunna. That's why we don't have to use the subject pronoun. Say Safahtunna sadiqan qadiman. Alright? What about the third person plural feminine? Like for the third person plural masculine we have hum, and for the plural feminine we have hunna. Hunna. No, it doesn't look. Sorry for the mess. Hunna. 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 Safah. Na. Just the noon. Safah. Na. Hunna. Safah. Na. So the ha, you can write it this way, follow me, alright? Or this, like, see? You practice, like this, hunna. So, let's recap. أنا صافحت صديقا قديما. أنت صافحت، أنت صافحتي، تيتي. هو صافح، هي صافحت. نحن صافحنا. أنتما صافحتما، هما صافحا، هما صافحتا. أنتم صافحتم، أنتن صافحتن، هن صافحنا. Alright, try to memorize it, and that's it for today. Take care. إلى اللقاء.